Okay, welcome to episode 2 of how I got into software engineering at Waterloo and graduated unemployed. Yeah, I gotta work on that title. Okay, so there was one thing I forgot to mention about getting good grades last time. So at the time in high school, I actually didn't use social media at all. No short form content, no scrolling, nothing. And no, it's not because it didn't exist at the time. Okay, we had Insta, we had Snap, okay, and Musically had just became. So yeah, we had them. I just didn't use it. And like my phone was just for listening to music and calling my parents. So yeah, if you want good grades, one actual piece of advice I can give is quit social media. Instantly gives you like 5x more time. Okay, so now let's talk about, actually graduating. So congratulations, prospective alumni. Rejoice and feel good about yourselves now that you can identify as future potential holders of the Bachelor of Software Engineering. So I actually have a few spicy takes about university, which I personally follow to get out of it, but I have mixed feelings about recommending them to people. This video is actually adapted from something I wrote in second year, and I'll link it below if you want to give it a read. It's much edgier than I am now. I'll preface that. But yeah, anyway, I'll start with this. I graduated, but I didn't enjoy my university experience. I mean, naturally, it wasn't all bad. I had good times. I had fun with friends, but in general, I'd say it was rather empty. The friends I made, I don't know, like, they might watch this video, so like we don't talk that much is what I'm trying to say. I still like them, but we don't talk that much. Sorry, guys. I didn't join any clubs. I didn't go to events, go out, nothing. But you know what? I fucking graduated. Okay, so rule number 1: gamify everything. School is not your life, okay? Don't take failure personally. And look, in high school, to get in, sure, school could have been your life. But now, to be honest, grades are pretty pointless. You just need to pass. The point of university is to get a degree, and the point of a degree is to improve your hireability to a corporate job. And there's nothing else to it. So you got to ask yourself, what are your personal objectives? Do you want a fulfilling university experience, have fun, make friends, or do you just want to graduate and move on with your life? There's no right answer, but the point is to find what you care about, focus on it, and ignore everything else. Yeah, so a lot of people come in and they talk about this imposter syndrome. We had a whole fucking presentation about it when it came in, So people love comparing themselves, especially people that are overachievers in high school. And they feel bad about being worse than other people at certain things. But think about it this way. Like, what do you really want out of life? Do you want to be the person with the best grades? Do you want to be the person with the coolest co-ops? Or, do you really care? 3-4 more years down the line? I'm going to be honest. Working a desk job, it sucks. Once you're in it for 5 years, you just want to, do things to yourself. So the point is, detach personally. 80-20 rule everything. So cut the fat, do only the things that are the most effective in moving you forward towards your goal. A simple example I can give is this. So me personally, I often fall asleep in lectures, so it's a pretty big waste of time to go. I also hate reading the readings, so this is what I do. I start with the assignment questions, use Google, whatever, ChatGPT, get the answers, okay? Figure it out. Then I match the assignments as well as the past exams, if they give any, to the syllabus. And I note down what are the things that the assignment's testing you on, what does the prof care about, what knowledge sections are they focusing on. Then if there's something you really can't understand, through Google or doing the assignments or the readings, then I just go to office hours instead of going to lectures, just ask the specific questions. And this optimization extends to other parts of your life as well. It's not just school anymore. Cooking and eating is probably one of the biggest things you're going to have to overcome. Living alone for the first time, and along with your busy schedule and workload, you're going to have to feed yourself proper food. To be honest, this is the part I struggled with the most. I just couldn't cook healthy, delicious meals fast enough. So I can't really give advice here. My solution to this in later years was just to go home. I'd eat out, like finish all my work from Monday to Wednesday, and then just take a 2-hour bus home all the way up until Monday the next week. I guess the point here is like focus on your strengths. I had money. I had optimized my work schedule enough at the time where I didn't really have to attend lectures. I also had money at the time, but that's a different story. I just couldn't cook, and I hated being in Waterloo. So, use your strengths to overcome your weaknesses type shit. Also measure things like how long your walk to school takes, how long you wait in Tim Hortons. Structure your day to get the most amount of productivity out of dedicated work sessions, like blocking and branching your time properly. I would say putting in high quality time is better than putting in more time, so make sure during these times, like you're scheduling them where your body is at peak focus, peak performance, during that time, all that shit. Okay, so anyway, you get the gist of it. Like min-max the fuck out of your life. I did that. Was it fun? Kinda. Is it a sustainable way to live? The fuck no. Okay. And was I perfect at, all this shit I'm preaching? Hell no. Right? I had days where I slacked off, days where I just rotted in bed. And the point here is that it's like, you don't have to be perfect. As soon as you start asking yourself these questions, start thinking like, what's the best way I can get this done in the least amount of time and effort, you're on the right track. So below, I'll link the Waterloo Undergraduate Calendar, which pretty much tells you what required courses you have and what you need to graduate. For software engineering, the terms I'd say that are hard are 2B and 3B. I'd also honorable mention first year is pretty challenging because there's quite a heavy workload and you're just getting used to university, which contributes to making it harder. It mostly just tests your time management though, since you have like 6 weekly assignments because they want you to have Sunday off. And then you got to do it all over again. Generally, I'd say it's pretty standard to go on exchange on your 3B term to avoid doing it at Waterloo. Since in exchange, your courses are DRNA, which is just a fancy term for pass-fail. Although it seems that they're patching this exploit since you now need to maintain a Waterloo standard while you're at exchange. I can't find exactly where to say this, but I know one of my homies almost got fucked over because he skipped all his exams on exchange since he knew he'd pass. But then when bro came back, they were threatening not to give him the credits because he had like a 60 or something. But I'd say on average, from what I've seen, exchange schools in Europe are generally easier than Waterloo. Asia's kind of a toss-up. I think it's quite different around. I personally went to KAIST, which is in Korea, and I got absolutely butt-fucked. The one thing, though, is they have an insane curve, like pretty much based on vibes. And because of, I don't know, Asian standards, my 20% in control systems is equivalent to a 75%. But yeah, no, I kid you not. As long as you come to class and ask questions, the teacher will probably pass you. Yeah, so that's my little how-to guide on university. If you're going to take one thing away from this video series, let it be this. Life is long. You can't see that now because you haven't actually lived the rest of your life, and everyone's path is unique. Sometimes you'll look bad and be glad certain failures happened, and other times you'll realize things you thought were great actually sucked. Okay, peace out, guys.